Lopa, you can start. The video is streaming.
You are mute.
You're on mute, Lopa.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Professor Jain, this is always my privilege. I'm going to welcome you all and then you can get started. Yeah? Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Lopa Mudra from IIM Bangalore's Center for Teaching and Learning. Am I still on mute?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
No, you are audible.
Yeah. So, Professor Jain, this is why there is
always
this.
my
Privilege. I'm going to welcome you all and then you can get started. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Professor, is it, what was the matter? I'm okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Good now.
So, Mudra from IIM Bangalore's Center for Teaching and Learning, and it is my pleasure to today's webinar on hands-on experiential learning, the secret sauce of future-proof learning. Experiential learning, many of us would agree, and Professor Jain would correct us if we are wrong, but many of us would agree comes from the space where we kind of, value learning through practical experiences and often associate it with various other ideas of learning, like engaged learning, collaborative learning, reflective learning, and so on. We have with us someone who is deeply involved in creating these learning experiences, Professor Manish Jain, a teaching faculty and chairperson of the Center for Creative Learning at IIT Gandhinagar. We welcome you, Professor Jain.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We are also joined by Professor Sushanta Mishra, faculty at IIM Bangalore in the OB and HR area, and the chairperson for IIM Bangalore's Center for Teaching and Learning and the Research and Publications Department. And dear audience, we will take your questions in the last 15-20 minutes of today's webinar. You may post your questions and also thoughts on the chat window. We will try picking up some of the relevant ones towards the end. Okay, so let's get started. Over to you, Professor Jain.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And ये थोड़ा सा कुछ change करना पड़ेगा क्या? Spotlight or whatever. Right now, so maybe I have to do this on my own, or you guys have to do the spotlight. Otherwise, on Zoom, people will not be able to see things. So somebody has to spotlight my video on Zoom.
Yes.
I don't have the access. I'm just waiting for that to happen. You have to just click on the image and then make spotlight. If you had made me a co-host, I could have done it myself. I am till that time going to ask all the people who are here, the attendees that I see 14 here, is it possible that I see their videos? I mean, are they allowed to switch on their videos? It'll be great to actually see people instead of just some names and icons. So it'll be great to sort of see who I am talking to, the audience, because that's what gives the pleasure. So Dr. Anita Pawar, Hemant Yoga, Kartik V, Kartik Madan, Manisha, Manpreet Sharma, Omji Gupta, Pradyumna Kumar Tripathi, Radhika, Rashri, Subhash, Shikha, Sridevi, Supriya, Vedanta Joshi. I think they're trying to just do something about this, but we'll see.
Professor Jain, do you want to see all the participants on screen?
I think it'll be great.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you have to do is spotlight me and allow them to switch on their videos.
Okay. Just a second. Yeah. They are doing this, Professor. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Is it possible to see a few people? I finally see.
Hi, Professor. I'll introduce myself. I'm not a participant, I'm a panelist actually.
Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
working as a copy editor for the Center for Teaching and Learning. I'm in Lopa's team. It's, as she mentioned, it's such a pleasure to be hosting you for the Samiksha web series. So, I mean, since you want us all to be on video, we'll be on video.
Yeah. No, that'll be great. I'm saying even the 15, 17 people that are there, if they can switch on, and then you can spotlight me. Right now, I am a small icon. So
Yeah.
then you
We
cannot
are
see
working on that. Yes.
who's the host. Are you the host?
No, actually, we've given that to the IT team. They're working on it. You can see I am Bangalore, right? I
Yeah.
think
So they
Lopa is
normally
getting in touch.
co-host कर देते हैं ना वो. Anyways, somebody's asked a question till that time. Where is the chat? Somebody has Sridevi Padaki.
We can begin.
Yeah, Sridevi, you can talking permitted. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself and speak. Sridevi, you are allowed. You have been permitted to talk. Go
Professor
ahead.
Jain,
Good evening,
you are
sir.
a co-host, so I think you can, you
I'm
do
not.
have that. Yeah.
अब बना
Spotlight.
दिया. Now
Yeah.
you have. So I thank you so much.
Yeah.
We can start. Sridevi, you had raised a hand. If you have to ask a question, do it now or whenever you want to. Since
Uh,
there are not many attendees, we can actually make this very
okay.
whatever.
Sir, good evening, Sridevi here. I'm a
Yes,
math teacher by profession for almost 23 years.
wonderful.
And I love creative teaching. I wanted more emphasis on creative teaching, wherein there is also motivation to learn mathematics in a interesting way. I mean,
Very good, madam.
to
I'll tell
have
you.
fun way.
Very good. So I don't know. I don't know whether you'll be disappointed, but I'll tell you this story. Professor Mishra, very interesting story hai, and I'll start with that. By the way, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. Lopa has been talking to me for some time now, and I knew that I have a talk at 6, and I had told my colleague कि मुझे यार 5 बजे बता देना. And then he comes at 5:35 and says, "Sir, अभी talk है." I'm like, I'm rushing here. But all is good. I like the books that you have behind Professor Mishra. I don't know वो असली में है. आजकल पता नहीं चलता पीछे किसके स्क्रीन के जो है वो असली का है कि झूठा है. वे लोग वो we will fix a picture and use वो गोवा में बैठ के आज तो वर्कशॉप करेंगे. But it turns out कि वो दिल्ली के किसी ऐसे जगह बैठे हुए. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you for proving that. Now, I'm going to tell you this story based on this question that Sridevi was asking. You see, my undergrad is from IIT Kanpur, and the founding director of IIT Kanpur was Professor Kelkar. He started it, founding director for 2 years, 2 terms. And then a lot of credit of what IIT Kanpur was and maybe is, some people say, is all because of his vision and all of that. And so in his memory, we had started this Kelkar series. So every year we'll call somebody eminent, whoever we think is eminent, and ask them to give a talk. And it turns out that one of the years they asked Nani Palkiwala to come and give a talk, eminent jurist of India, right? So somebody from Kanpur called him and said, "Sir, we would like you to come and give a talk. We'll take care of your tickets, this, that, whatever. Please enlighten us." And he says, "Great, I'll come." And then this person says, "Sir, your topic is this and you're supposed to speak on that. And if you can do this and if you can do that, that'll be great." And so on and so forth. And Nani Palkiwala said, "Yes, of course, I will. Yes. But when that, inviter was finished talking, he said, 'You see, आप बोल कुछ भी दो कि आपको ये करवाना है, मैं तो वही बोलूंगा जो मुझे आता है.' So regardless of what Sridevi wants or whatever she has in mind, I don't know whether I'll be able to do justice. I will only try to do or can do what I know. And it was just in jest, but we'll see what we can. So thank you so much with that introduction and all of that. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. And I'm speaking from IIT Gandhinagar. And let me take you to IIT Gandhinagar. This is how IIT Gandhinagar looks like. This is a small lab called Center for Creative Learning in IIT Gandhinagar, where the goal is to make sure, the goal is to see how we can make learning engaging and inspiring. bring back that gleam in the eyes of our children. This is a picture that I took in 2016 in Chhattisgarh. I toured the whole state, went to all 26 districts of Chhattisgarh, and we did these hands-on experiential workshops. That is what the lab here in IIT Gandhinagar tries to do. This is a picture that I took, about a year ago. What you see on the ground, you see these, maybe you can see this cursor hanging, roaming around, but this is basically a circle, and on this circle are these straight lines. I don't know if it is clear or not, but this whole logo of IIT Gandhinagar has been made with straight lines that we have woven from about 1500 points on this 10 feet circle, which is basically apparently turned out that it's a world record of making a picture on a large circle. The other things that you see around IIT Gandhinagar is also have also been woven by straight lines. Now imagine straight lines, when woven correctly, can give you whatever shape that you want. And subsequently, we made pictures of whoever else, right? Abdul Kalam and Vikram Sarabhai, all of those. You take this picture, you go to our website, you put that image in, and I'll tell you which lines you weave from which point to which point, and then out will come. And the reason I wanted to show you this picture is that these are the first year students of IIT Gandhinagar, the 2022 batch. This just the last batch that we have here, and they made this whole thing. I mean, the thing that you see on the top is actually a 10-feet geodesic dome. It is made with 720 bamboo sticks, for which we did the math. And the most important thing is that these guys actually spent, these children actually spent 8 hours of their time, 8 hours. 350 students spent 8 hours of their time doing the kind of things that you see on the film, I mean on the screen. And here is we who is saying that the average time span, the average attention span of our children is 45 seconds. That's the latest research. Our attention span is not more than 45 seconds. Our children cannot do anything more than 45 seconds. Well, I bet, I beg to differ. If we give them things that are interesting and engaging, our children and adults are willing and want to do that. This is 8 hours. This is 8 hours non-stop. Almost, I mean, they took a 20-minute break to eat their lunch. But other than that, so this is what we try to do. We try to, I mean, that is all we can try to do. Our lab was set up in 2017. The goal was to create content which can engage and which can inspire. I'll give you an example. You see, and maybe we'll try, give you an example and then tell you a story. I hope the musician's voice on रखना, original voice on रखते हैं कि off रखते हैं? उसको पूछो. विजय, on है, off है? Original sound for musicians, off, on, original sound. Okay, maybe this is what. Let me know if you hear something. Okay, so I have this CD in my hand. No big deal. Actually, there are 3 CDs here, right? And maybe I can show you in the overhead. Click here and say, oh, so I have these 3 CDs here. Hopefully you can see it here. Okay, and 3 CDs. Now you can see there are 3 of them. अरे यार, इसको बंद कर देते हैं. 1 minute. हाँ. Okay, I have 3 CDs here. Yeah. And this is the first CD, this is the second, this is the third. The one in the middle is actually a cut CD. It is cut from here to here, and you see some part of it has come out, right? It is actually shoved out in this direction. That's fine. What I am going to do now is do this, hold it in my hand, and I'll blow. I'll blow from here. No big deal. I hope you didn't hear anything. But what I'm doing is putting this slot in my mouth and I'm blowing. What I'm going to do now is put my hands underneath, put it here, and then I'll blow again. Did you hear anything? यार आप लोग ना वो
Yes, Professor.
रख सकते हो. And I don't know, are the participants
Yes,
allowed
yes.
to switch on their videos? Because it'll be nice to see the 27 of them with their icons on. Because if this is all for the gleam in the eyes of the children, we might like to see the same in the eyes of the adults. तो अगर उनके videos अगर हो सकते हैं, you can call the IT team and say if the participants are allowed to sort of show who they are. If they are in a place where they can switch on their videos. See, oftentimes these webinars, people do it from all sorts of places, and we don't want them to be, sitting wherever and switching on their videos. But if they can, it'll be nice to see who they are. So anyway, what I'm going to do is blow from here. Nothing happens, but when I put this thing underneath and blow. Now, does it matter if I put my hand here or on top? No, it doesn't actually. If I put anything on top or on bottom, it starts to make a sound. Why does it do that? Because when I blow, the CD that is in the center has a slot, so the air it becomes a column of air which goes through. It is chopped in two parts because of this sharp edge and the center of the CD. It divides air in two parts. One goes over, one underneath, makes some vortices. I put my hand in, and this is a sound box, and it starts to make this referee whistle. Something similar to what you will see. Referee whistle. Just one. I'm trying to find my here. This is another very interesting thing. You see, we call it the referee whistle. So it is basically a simple pipe with a paper, with a stiff paper, and I'll just put this guy inside in. That's it. It has been sharpened here. Then I will take this edge and put right in front of this, and then I'll blow again. सुनाई दिया? I hope सुनाई दिया तो ऐसे हाथ हिला सकते हैं ताकि मुझे पता चले. Who knows, Zoom ने काट दी आवाज. But if I blow like this, I will not see anything. Exactly the same thing. When I blow, my air is being cut in two. The jet of the air is being cut in two parts, but this sharp edge, one of them goes inside, and then it gets a place to vibrate, and there you see. You see, a lot of these wind instruments are made by just this. Even in a flute, you have this sharp edge which breaks the flow in various parts, and I can make my own set of wind instruments, you see. I'll sort of finish a few things and then try to ask questions, because then you see बुढ़ापे में अगर बीच में कोई flow टूट जाए ना तो वापस को गाड़ी को उधर लाके समय लग जाता है. तो श्रीदेवी, sorry, just give me a few minutes and then I'll come back to you. I mean, the whole idea is to make this interactive, not at all a monologue. But what I'm trying to show you a few things, and then I will convey an important point that I want to convey about education, about whatever it is. I was just at a meeting day before on Wednesday, national consultative meeting. They had asked me to come and give a talk on national credit framework. Basically, government is realized, and Ministry of Education has realized that, you see, a lot of learning in a school happens other than classrooms, right? Outside of classrooms. And things that are most important sometimes in our life are those things that we learn not inside the curriculum but outside of the curriculum. Is it possible for us to recognize that learning and put it as some part of credit framework that we can do in our grade sheets or whatever? Who knows? Grade sheet mein karne se that again becomes a curriculum, but that's something that we have to try and see. But you see, that was that meeting about, and it was an eye-opening event for me. I was supposed to give a talk. I said, I don't even know नेशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्क क्या, मुझे ना नेशनल पता, ना क्रेडिट, ना फ्रेमवर्क, तो आपने गलत जने को बुला दिया. बट what I will do is I will show you how some of these skills that are most important today in our children are something that we are not even trying to recognize. In my opinion, one of the most important skills that we need in our children is the ability to persevere, of course, persevere, right? Stay on something for hours in end. Right, something that should stay in my mind. And the second thing is to be, to be the ability to observe things that are around us. Right, if we are able to observe that something that is in front or around and all of that, then we find various ways of looking at various problems. Right, I mean, that is something that is so useful later or wherever in our lives. Right, I mean, you see something that is right in front of you and you have a perspective, but imagine there are various ways of looking at things, and all of them might be right, or most of them, or whatever else, but you get various solutions and answers, and that is the skill that we are looking. And that unfortunately is something that and why, how will that happen? I mean, that has to start in our classrooms. It has to start, and I'll give you one example of that. Right, I showed you these two toys. Maybe there's another one I can show you right away, because we made a lot of these flutes. This is the same thing, something similar, but this is called a bugle, and I'll show you what it is. It is basically a T junction. ये यहाँ पर कटा हुआ दिखेगा, but पीले को हटा देता. So this is basically a T-junction on which we have put a tape. This is a polythene which I have tied. This is just a simple pipe and a piece of rubber which acts as a stopper. So I'll push this inside, make this pipe touch on this membrane right here, and that's it. And then I'll blow. सुनाई दिया होगा शायद. I tried to play the national anthem. I don't know if I was right, but at least that was the try. All I was doing is increasing the length of my pipe by moving this this piece of paper around on this, and that's all there is to it. It costs about 8 rupees to make this. Please don't cut if you try to make it. Whoever is, please don't cut open your, आपने घर के पाइप खोल दिए, पता चला लीकिंग चालू हो गई, बोला ओ आई एम बेंगलोर वालों ने कराया है. But you see, if you are trying to do something like that, and this is all it takes to make a class interesting, now I can talk about the frequency and wavelength or whatever else. By the way, the reason why, I mean, we all know that, increase the length, wavelength increases, frequency decreases, but the real correlation, the exact correlation or exact math is still not clear to human beings, which is why arts is, I mean, a lot of people are researching on it, or have researched and looked at, try to sort of, come up with a model of exactly how the sound happens. But I'm happy that they have not, which is why there is arts where people with a, great sense of making these instruments will do such a wonderful job without even understanding the model behind how the sound works. I mean, we know some idea. We know for the fact that when you blow from here, the air is not going to come out from this side because it is blocked by this valve, and so it goes over on top of this pipe, which leads this membrane to vibrate, and hence the air column inside vibrates, and you get this sound. But you can make your own instruments. Similar thing, what I did was, the same CD, right? Imagine इसके नीचे अगर एक pipe रख दिया और उसमें छेद बना दिए, these holes in this. That's all, and something interesting will happen hopefully. I'm going to put my fingers right here. This was much better, and all it takes is just 3 paper and then a worn out pipe, and I can give you where to put these holes. Just with a screw you can do this, or with a knife, and this is your flute, right? The fact that you learn about whatever science or whatever else that is different, but you've made your own flute. The kind of confidence that you get by doing this is something that crosses all boundaries, right? It crossing all the educational or math or science or geography or arts or sculpture boundaries, right? This is something that this intangible confidence, I'm not calling it, in fact it's not intangible, hopefully it's, but this skill, this intangible sense of achievement, creating something that is of value, right? I'm not just writing some assignments which I'm proving a square, which we should, that is all given, but I have created something of value for which there is people who are who value, and so on and so forth. That gives a tremendous amount of confidence in our teachers, in our children, and most importantly that's extremely engaging. अब आपने बैठकर 2 घंटे तक बनाया, और आई गारंटी हूं कि आप पहली बार बनाएंगे तो नहीं बजेगी, आपकी बांसुरी नहीं बजेगी, मिश्रा जी की बज जाएगी. आप क्या करोगी लोपा जी? आपकी नहीं बजेगी, क्योंकि आपने कभी अपने हाथों से काम ही नहीं करा. आपने कहा नंबर जुगाड़ेंगे और IIM में नौकरी ले लेंगे, और मिश्रा जी ने कहा हम अपने हाथ से काम करेंगे. I'm sorry, I'm taking your names because you are the only 2 people I see on the screen. I wish I had more people on the screen. But you see what I'm trying to say is that this skill of doing things by hand creates this ability to persevere. क्योंकि आपका नहीं बनेगा, आपकी बांसुरी बजेगी नहीं यार. करते रहो, आप फाइट मारनी पड़ेगी. आप 4 बार बनाओगे तब जाके समझ आएगा यार ये पाइप ना एक्चुअली मोटा था, इसको पतला होना चाहिए था. वो जैन साहब ने कर दी, लेकिन उसमें बताया नहीं कि उसकी थिकनेस कितनी थी, है ना? तो उसमें तो आपको फाइट मारनी पड़ेगी ना. यू विल हैव टू स्ट्रगल, एंड दैट इज द स्किल दैट इज, आई एम श्योर, आई एम मतलब in 93 when I graduated from Kanpur, I wrote this exam based on which you admit people in IIT, I mean in IIMs. I actually lived in Bangalore. Trilochan is a very good friend. So, I wrote this exam because most people that time were writing these exams, and I don't know what the deal was. I wrote this exam. I expected कि अहमदाबाद वाले बुला लेंगे, उन्होंने बुलाया नहीं. तो और फिर the only thing that happened is लखनऊ भी हुआ करता था उस जमाने में. I don't know अब होता है कि नहीं, but there used to be A, B, C and L, and neither A nor B nor C, but L, decided that they want to call me, and so I decided यार L नहीं जाएंगे. And I'm actually happy now, if retrospectively, that I didn't. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है नहीं तो मैं अभी बैंक में कुछ जॉब कर रहा होता. Who knows? But I don't know why I started on this story. But what I'm saying is that you see the skill that happens by these toys is not just the joy of making, but the learning that you get by failing and not giving up. Because now you want to make, because मिश्रा जी की तो बन गई, मेरी नहीं बनी, क्या चक्कर है यार, मैं तो बनाऊंगी. And then you persevere, and then you keep on doing, and then you copy, you learn to copy, right? You learn to copy from Mishra ji's flute, and then out comes, and then you really, enjoy it, and you play it all around, and then till the people say, yaar, bas ho gaya, yaar, band kar ab, and so on and so forth. So that is something that I'm going to, and the other thing that I'm sort of trying to highlight or point, I mean, like I said, let me just switch on to my slides. Like I said, and our goal is to make education engaging and inspiring for both children and adults. What you see on the picture on the left is a picture I took in 2015, I think. This was in Assam. Assam was a great, when I went there first time, it is amazing. यार वहाँ 4 बजे दिन छूट जाता है. That time I was eating, following the Jain tradition, I used to eat before sunset. वो 4 बजे खाना पड़ेगा. अब 4 बजे तो असम में खाना ही नहीं मिले dinner. I think 4 o'clock the sun is gone, and it is very interesting. So I took this picture when I was doing this workshop, and I was amazed. This is actually, I can show this thing to you right here. अरे वो है क्या पेन दिखाना, वो हवा में लटकने वाला पेन? हाँ. रखा ही नहीं. अरे ये थोड़ी खड़े वाला. So while Sajid tries to get that pen for me, I'll move on. This pen is actually basically levitating in the air. You see, this pen is basically standing on a CD. There are 2 magnets. There you go. Thanks, Sajid. There you go. I will switch on my front camera here, and you should see this here. Something similar, but you see, this pen is hanging in the air, and I can spin it. Right? तो आप लोग जो प्रोफेसर लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, बच्चों के नंबर 000 दिए, उसके बाद ये पेन एकदम खड़ा हो गया. And standing in the air. Why? Because there is this magnet sitting here and the one in the beak of this bird, and if I put this too close, it sticks like that. If I put too down, it will fall, but at sufficient distance, it has enough force so that the pen actually stands in a, it does this simple harmonic motion that you learn in grade 11 or whatever, but right now, I will just enjoy. And look at the child, look at that child you see in the picture. Look at this cheeky guy at the back. Look at the gleam and the, the focus in their eyes. They all want to sort of, are we giving our children this opportunity? है ना? क्या हम उनको ये चीजें दिखा पा रहे हैं ताकि उनकी आंखों में वो चमक आए, उनको लगे यार ये हुआ तो हुआ कैसे? This ability for them to observe anything other than this piece of paper. And by the way, piece of paper can also be very interesting. We'll see. My talk, by the way, Lopaji, can go on and on. I can keep making whatever jokes that you want me to. But so remind me when you want me to stop. Whenever you want to ask a question or whatever, and when you want, कुछ लोग और आगे जुड़ गए. डॉक्टर शिखा है, मुकुल, वेदांत, मुकुल जोशी, वेदांत जोशी जी, आपका स्वागत है. जिसके भी वीडियोस आ रहे हैं, thank you so much for showing your videos. Anyways, what I was going to show to you was this. Let me just move on to this next picture, and hopefully you have seen this. How many of you have seen this picture? This is a picture of Neeraj Chopra, who threw, I'm assuming people know Neeraj Chopra. This is a picture of Neeraj Chopra, who threw his javelin in the Tokyo Olympics and won the first ever gold medal in athletics for India. Right? I mean, in so long, the first medal. And when I read this news, I was actually very happy, just like everybody else, intrigued and surprised and everything else. But I saw यार ये पेपर में जब देखा तो उसमें लिखा था नीरज चोपड़ा did his javelin at 36 degrees to get the gold medal. However, I don't know if you remember or not, but you know we were taught that you have to throw things at 45 degrees for them to go the farthest.
Correct.
And this is front page. आप लोग ने मुझे मालूम नहीं पेपर पढ़ा कि नहीं, पर मैंने पढ़ा था, उन्होंने लिखा था वो नीरज ने 36 डिग्री पे फेंक के गोल्ड मेडल जीत लिया. यार ये कैसे हो सकता है? नीरज wants to throw the farthest. The book clearly says, whether it is Irodov, whether it is Perelman, whether it is Ruskin Halliday or Resnick Halliday, or whatever it is, they say that you have to throw at 45. Right? And they are saying, oh, air drag, this and that. ठीक है यार, air drag से इतनी दूर थोड़ी चला जाएगा, 10 डिग्री नीचे है, 9 डिग्री. Right? Then I read that the Bofors gun fire, or the long range guns fire at 55 degrees to go the farthest. Right? So Neeraj throws at 36. Guns do at 55. The book says 45. कुछ तो लोचा है. Are we able to observe things like that when they come in the newspaper? क्या हमारा दिमाग वहीं तक चलता है, या हमने बस एक बार देख के रट लिया कि यार 45 है, अब तो 45 का सवाल आएगा और उसको करके हमें जो भी नौकरी है वो मिलेगी, which is great, right? I mean, all आपको मिले बहुत अच्छी बात है, but this ability to observe, are we giving our children that opportunity for them to observe? I think that is the most critical skill that anybody would need, and we are not giving that up. It's not like we will start a course on observability. Okay, tomorrow I am Bangalore will start a course on observing. नहीं, वो भी कर लीजिए, अच्छी बात है, बट दीज थिंग्स आर पार्ट ऑफ एवरी सिंगल डिसिप्लिन दैट वी डू. आप उसमें, मुझे मालूम नहीं क्या पढ़ाते हैं आप लोग, बट जो भी पढ़ाते हैं उसमें जो भी पढ़ाते होंगे, आई नो त्रिलोचन टीचेस सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, आई डोंट नो व्हाट यू टीच प्रोफेसर मिश्रा, एंड आई नो व्हाट लोपा डज सॉर्ट ऑफ, बट जो भी कराए हैं उसमें इफ देयर इज अ वे दैट वी आर गिविंग आवर चिल्ड्रन दीज एग्जांपल्स और अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ऑब्जर्व एंड वंडर. मैं एक और उदाहरण दूंगा, देन यू सी क्या होता है यार. बच्चे आजकल, हमारे पास कोई और हथकंडा नहीं है बच्चों को बुलाने के लिए एक्सेप्ट अटेंडेंस. दैट रिमाइंड्स मी ऑफ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी. जब 17 साल का था मैं, आई थिंक 18 or whatever, 89, I got the opportunity to study at Kanpur right after 12. You see, when you are 12 year old, I mean when you're 17, just finishing school, the best thing that can happen to you is कि माँ बाप से पीछा छूट जाए. Here you go, right? कि माँ बाप से मुक्ति मिली और आप जा रहे हो वहाँ पे एकदम हॉस्टल में रहोगे. The best thing about Kanpur that time was there was no attendance. Amazing. आपको आना है तो आइए, नहीं आना तो नहीं आइए. I don't know whether it still exists or not, but you see, that is the only hatkanda we have on our children, right? Does it have to be like that? I don't know. I don't teach a lot of classes here because we are busy creating content for children. But imagine if, this is an assumption, and actually an assumption based on some results. We are doing this program for KGBV schools in 1500 KGBV schools across India, online, right? For about 1.5 lakh children, and our attendance is 100%. In Gujarat, 200 schools, all of them join. और सिर्फ एक फ़ोन पर देखकर करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि हम ये सारी चीज़ें कराते हैं. क्योंकि हम आपको ये बांसुरी बनवाएंगे और ये करेंगे और पेन हवा में खड़ा कर देंगे, फिर नीरज चोपड़ा का भाला आएगा, फिर पीटी उषा का रेस आएगी, एंड दिस एंड दैट, एंड देन वी विल टॉक अबाउट वट एवर एल्स दैट वी हैव टू टॉक अबाउट. एंड इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट, आई नो, बट यू सी दैट इज समथिंग दैट वील हैव टू स्टार्ट डूइंग फॉर अस टू बी फ्यूचर प्रूफ. अदरवाइज बच्चे हमारी क्लास में आना बंद कर देंगे, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. हु नोज, हमारे पास थोड़े दिन ही ये अटेंडेंस का डंडा चल सकता है, ज़्यादा दिन तक नहीं चले. I just, this is all of course my opinion, and for whatever it is worth, but I feel that, it is, let's make it interesting. Let's make it worth their time. Let us make it worth, so that they enjoy along with whatever else they'll learn. And I'll tell you one more example. I'll show you one more, something that has just, whatever, just made me wonder all my life. You see, this is 1984. I mean, you can say that I'm fascinated with Olympics. Maybe 1984 Tokyo, Los Angeles Olympics. First time India had the opportunity to win a medal in athletics in Olympics. And what you see here, maybe you can you see my cursor on the screen?
Yes.
So here is PT Usha, this one. This is PT Usha. This is lane 5, okay? And this is lane 2. Yeah. I think this one, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe this one, okay. So this is Christina. Now this is a picture we took on the video, but this is Christina from Romania. and they were all fighting for the bronze, right? Because this is gold, this is silver, and this is bronze. These two girls are fighting. And PT Usha lost by 0.01 seconds. You keep this picture in mind, okay? Okay. PT Usha lost the bronze, and we didn't have, I never had TV. I have never had TV in my life. So we were at my, even now, I was at my neighbor's place, and यार अब तो शायद कुछ मिल जाए हमें पहली बार कुछ मेडल मिलेगा 100 करोड़ लोग हैं एक तो मेडल मिलना चाहिए एंड वी आर ऑल वाचिंग LA वो तो दूसरी तरफ है तो यहाँ रात को आएगा रात को देखे और वो 0.01 सेकंड से हार गए बड़ा दुख हुआ बहुत साल तक दुख रहा few years ago, almost 4-5 years ago, IIT Gandhinagar just created a new track and field, real Olympic size national games हुए थे तो वहाँ मैंने देखा यार बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है उस समय जब लोग दौड़ते थे तो वो बंदूक चलाते थे you fire a shotgun and somebody hears and then you start to run and that banduk wala was in the center and that center is closer to number 2 than it's to number 5 and I measured the distance between number 2 and number 5 it is actually 12 meters right and sound takes 0.04 seconds to travel 12 meters so this girl who she lost to heard it 0.04 seconds before PT Usha heard it and she lost it by 0.01 so theoretically she had won but we never took cognizance of that or looked at it or whatever and I don't know this is my theory who knows what is truth but scientifically or whatever it is she should have won and we should have got the medal. I mean we can contest it in Hague court or whatever but that what I'm trying to say is that this ability of arts to observe can bring you such joy. I hope I can meet P2. I mean I had the chance to meet Neeraj Chopra actually because this thing became very popular and somebody made a video and National Olympic Games में वो आया था यहाँ पर तो किसी ने बोला वो आप जाओ वो मिलो जैन साहब से वो रिसर्च करते हैं आपके ऊपर So somebody brought me, he was smart, so he came and I got a chance to ask him a question. He said, I mean the only time, बहुत भीड़ थी. I said, यार ये बता कि तूने 36 पे क्यों फेंका? हिंदी में. And he says, यार मैं तो जोर लगा देता हूँ. And in that language of Haryana, मैं तो पूरा जोर लगा देता हूँ. मुझे नहीं पता किसने एंगल पे जा रहा है. वो तो मेरा कोच है. German coach, biomechanics expert, he knows at what angle and you see there is a reason and I'll not give you the answer as to why he did. You have to watch our episode and you just search Neeraj Chopra IIT Gandhinagar whatever and then you'll see this 1 hour episode where we discuss as to why Neeraj threw at 36 and Bofors does at 45 whereas the book is still stuck on 45. So I encourage you to see that video. It had about 4 lakh, like 2 lakh people watching live and what, I don't remember the numbers, but anyway. So those are the things that those are the things, or I mean, it brings me so much joy, right? And I hope this joy I see in the eyes of our teachers. Imagine if this is how I start my my talk on speed, on velocity, on speed, or sports, right? It is integral. Why is it that this guy always jumps face down? Why do the high jumpers always jump, face up, whatever, right? ऐसे उल्टे क्यों कूदते हैं? आपको बोले कूदने के लिए तो आप ऐसे कूदोगे? आप तो नहीं कूदोगे. आप तो यार टांग को ऊपर करके कूदोगे. तो ये पागल थोड़ी है. Why is it that they do? Till 1964, nobody jumped like that. 1964, before 1964, forever everybody was jumping like that, like ऐसे आप दोनों टांग को ऊपर से कूदते हो. 1964 में अचानक किसी अमेरिकन स्टैनफोर्ड इंजीनियर नॉट अ गुड एथलीट को दिमाग में आया यार ऐसे कूदते हैं and he won the gold. He was a bad athlete, still won the gold. And after his jump, no one ever jumped like that. Why? Because somebody thought, right? And I'm not saying we give our children this opportunity to think they will do wonders. And who cares? Who cares about what they do in life, whether they go to IIT or IIM or whatever else that they do? These 12 years that they spend in school, these 19,200 hours that they spend in school, that is worth every single hour of their time. You see, we are teaching, and this is the crux of my talk in whether, you see, we are training our children to become whatever, right? जो भी मतलब साइंस में बहुत बढ़िया IIT में IIM में जो भी ना मैनेजर बन जाएंगे. I don't know about IIM or IIT. I mean I do some about IIT, but so in the school we are saying यार हम हम अपने बच्चों को साइंस बनाएंगे और मैथ कराएंगे और कॉमर्स कराएंगे ये कराएंगे. यार 98%, 75% of our children will not go to college. That's the current data. almost 73 or 72, something like that. I mean, we want that GER of our college increases to 50%, but right now it's 25. You see, 75% बच्चे college नहीं जाएंगे, right? And amongst the others who do, so many will apply and get a job or this or that. A lot of them will end up being self-employed, right? Will do a lot of their own, and which is great, which is how it should be. तो हमारी जो पढ़ाई है वो 75% बच्चों के लिए होनी चाहिए कि 25% बच्चों के लिए होनी चाहिए? Should we only in the school worry about the children who go to college or who for their own choice don't go to? It's not like कि 75% बच्चे कॉलेज इसलिए नहीं जाते हैं क्योंकि वहाँ पर पैसे नहीं है, इसलिए भी नहीं जाते हैं क्योंकि कॉलेज में कंटाल आता है. We have to realize that मजेदार नहीं है कॉलेज. I think we have to start accepting that. I'm sorry, I'm making very tall claims, but these are all my opinions. Of course, all of this is my opinion. हमें लगता है यार कि मज़ा नहीं आता है, और आप अगर थोड़ी मज़ा हो तो बच्चे आ जाएंगे. वो घर पे भी कौन सा बहुत बड़ा मज़ा करते हैं, right? All of them are not under hardships or whatever, and a lot of people, if we make it interesting enough for their lives, we are giving them skills that matter in their lives as part of the curriculum that they do. Who knows, but that is what we try to do. We try to create content which can engage, which can inspire, which can lead them to come to our classes back. Back to school program होता है ना, तो back to college या back to whatever program चालू करना पड़ेगा. मैं एक दो चीज़ें और दिखाता हूँ, and please let me know when I have to stop. I can keep going on and on. Let me show you this very interesting picture. I don't know if you've seen this. Maybe you've heard of this story though. Here you go. ये फोटो देखिए आपने कभी जिंदगी में? इसको कहते हैं प्यासे कौवे की कहानी. क्या है कि भाई वो कहानी सुना देते ना. Oh, sorry, I keep speaking in Hindi, but there is this story where there is a crow which is thirsty, and वो उसमें पत्थर डालो तो पानी बाहर आ जाएगा. Very good. कभी करके देखो यार. You see, you try this experiment whenever you try. If your glass is 25% full, you put any number of stones. Water will not come out, stones will come out. You put, if your glass is 50% full, again, water will not come out, only stones will come out. Where did the water go? Oh, it went between the spaces, between the stones. कौवे को भी पता है. Only when the water is 80% or 75%, that's when water will come out, and then the कौवा will say, यार, why to do all this effort? If water is already 80%, मैं तो अपना मुंह उसमें डाल दूंगा ना. ऐसे ही, पत्थर क्यों डालूंगा? The reason I'm giving you this example or this story is, you see, we will have to start doing this and get into this ability of doing something, and before we believe whatever it is, right? I mean, it's just a metaphorical story, but when I saw this picture, I was amazed. I said, ये तो कभी सोचा नहीं था कि ये पत्थर बना के तो हमें बुद्धू बना दिया. पत्थर डालोगे तो पानी तो कभी नहीं आता. मटके में पत्थर है, मतलब मटके में पानी है, और आप पत्थर डाल दो, पानी नहीं आएगा. गारंटी है, आप कर लो घर जाके, आज नहीं आएगा. वो पानी भरा हुआ है तो मैं वैसे ही मुंह डाल दूंगा यार. Why should I get stones and fly and become even more thirsty, right? Now, what I'm trying to tell you by this story is that, imagine this is the experience that I'm giving in the class. I have conveyed so many interesting things along with whatever science. I have conveyed the ability to sort of observe, question, and then look at the results and decide, and so on and so forth, right? बिना बोले बहुत सारी चीजें करा दी, आपको कोई ज्ञान नहीं बांटना पड़ा. Can we do, if and only we do, if and only to pata nahi, but maybe we can start introducing some of those things in the things that we do, and hopefully that will really help. Maybe I can show you a few toys. ये वाली एक और फोटो, दो फोटो और दिखा देता हूँ. What time should I stop? Lopa, just tell me so that I'm prepared. And
you have 5 more minutes with you.
5
After
more
that,
minutes.
we
So
can
I should
get
quickly do whatever I plan to do. This is a picture. And what should I do? PPT. This is again a picture of that I have taken. This is for those who believe that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, or for those who never get up in time to see the sunrise, क्योंकि whatever it is, or sunset. But you see, if you get up every single day and watch the sunrise, the sun never rises in the east and never sets in the west except for 2 days in a year. It always moves. So whoever has told you sun rises in the east has cheated you. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. At least not true in India. If you live on equator, it probably will always rise in the east and set in the west, I think. But definitely not in India. वो घूमता रहता है, and ये पूरी चित्र लिया हुआ है साल के 12 महीनों में हर दिन, और आपको दिख रहा है कि ये तो हिल गया, पहले कहीं से निकलता था, फिर कहीं से, फिर से कहीं से. तो ऐसा क्यों करते हैं? Why is it that it rises in the it does not rise in the east? Why is it that we are telling? Why can't we measure this? Why can't we put a foot in a stick in our school and measure the put the image of that stick every day at noon and look at where the image goes? आपको पता चल जाएगा कि कहाँ होता है. हर रोज एक फोटो लेनी है और बहुत सारी चीजें निकल जाती हैं. This last slide that I'm going to show and maybe a few toys after that, a couple of toys. This is a picture. This was in Bangalore when I took this. I used to live in Bangalore that time. This is 12th June 2012. Front page news in every single newspaper. And this is a question for the audience. What's wrong with this picture? You have 10 seconds. Anybody can raise their hands, maybe ask give the answer, whatever it is. बताइए इस चित्र में गड़बड़ क्या है? Sridevi has raised their hand. I think it's only Sridevi who raised. I wonder कि उसका Sridevi का हाथ हमेशा ही खड़ा रहता है. Sridevi ji, will come back to you. That was a poor joke. Sorry about that. Let me go on. I have less time. But basically, what this is an ad of a multigrain atta, which is trying to show you that this roti, half roti that it is made, is out of wheat, maize, soya, chana, oats, psyllium husk, which is basically, I don't know क्या होता है psyllium husk. Isabgol, right? These are all very good things. बहुत बढ़िया. You do this, you become champion. Very good, very fat, lot of muscle, not very fat, lot of muscle, and all of that, right? You become champions, right? Except when you look at something that is written downstairs, it says whole wheat atta 90, multigrain is 9.1. You see, the real picture that they forgot to show was this. And I don't know, maybe IIM के बड़े बच्चों ने ये फोटो बनाई हो, who knows? But the point is that see, Lopa is laughing now. I don't know, maybe ये सच है. But the point is, and I'll not tell you इस company का ad है. It's like a big company, whatever it is, right? But but you see, the real picture is this. Here, all the roti, all the atta is 90% गेहूं, जो बहुत सस्ता है. And the real multigrain is this small thing on the side. And आपको गलत फोटो बना के आपसे पैसे ले लिए 5 times or 6 times or however many times more, and actually that is not right. One, of course it is not right. Two, you should have spotted it. Is the education that we are giving to our children making them is relevant for their lives other than whatever it is, right? And that is the crux of what we are doing in school, right? क्या हमारी शिक्षा हमारी जिंदगी के लिए लाभदायक है, right? And I mean, that is what I was sort of, and that I think is what we'll have to make it engaging, inspiring, and so on and so forth. So with that, and I will just take you to my slides, to my email and all of that later. But I'm going to show you a couple of toys which I thought are really amazing, and just take 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes to show you these, right? Something that 700 unique toys and games that we have developed in our lab, which which bring back that gleam in the eyes of our children, which make the learning more engaging, interesting, and inspiring. What I have in my hand is these 26 cards with letters written, right? And I've shuffled them. And imagine if I have to just put them back together, it will be A, B, C, D, whatever, right? So I will have to first search for an A, O, then B, then C, and it takes a lot of time, right? And I don't have that time these days. And so what I'm going to do is put this stick inside and pull some cards out. Some cards are in here, the others are down. I will do this for the second hole and for the third hole. And there are 5 holes, and 4th and 5th, okay? And you see something interesting has happened. अगर आपको लगा अच्छा जादू है तो ताली बजा सकते हैं. सुनाई देगी कि नहीं पता नहीं, but yeah. You see, what did I do? I did this basically, these holes were done in a manner that this sorting happened on its own with a stick, right? This is called binary, this is called radix sort. In fact, The first example of radix sort or binary digit came at the times of Pingala in 200 BC. 200 BC. This binary computation happened 200 BC in India in Pingala's Chanda Shastra. We probably don't know about it. Right? There are such interesting stories. Pascal's triangle, that we call Pascal's triangles, is actually Pingala's Meru Prastara. And this is not one of those things that there is any doubt about. आप Wikipedia पर जाकर तो देखिए, Euler's night tour is Rudrata's, आप जाकर देखिए, Rudrata's night tour happened 800 years before Euler. 800. I mean, night tour is basically how do you move your knight on a chessboard so that you come back to the same place and you visit every single, square on the way, right? And it's the first assignment that, or second or third, that you give to a programming students who come here. Anyways, वो लंबी कहानी है. But ये जो हमने ताश के पत्ते बनाए, this is based on Pingala's binary mathematics, and then we extended it. We said, why 5? Can we do it with 3 holes? And that is an assignment I leave for you. और आप चाहे तो इंटरनेट पर जाकर इसका आंसर भी देख सकते हैं. There is this series or episode that we did which was called 30-30 STEM, and you are welcome to go watch it, and we have documented all of that there. ये 3 छेद से ही हो जाता है, but इसमें हमने this is based on base 3 mathematics. This is base 5, and it's a challenge for you कि आप 3 की जगह 2 छेद से ही करके दिखाओ. हमने तो ये 5 छेद से करा, फिर 3 से करा, आप 2 से करके दिखाओ. Open whatever. I'm going to show you one more thing, and this is the last, or maybe one last thing about paper, but then, and that's it. Just 2 things, okay? What I have in my hand is these these circles which have 12 holes, right? And I do a table of 2. इसका base 2 दे दे, छोड़ दे. So I do a table of 2, right? This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nothing big. I do a table of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and this is 14. I skip count 2. 2 का पहाड़ा यहाँ पे पढ़ा तो हेक्सागन बन जाता है. 3 का पहाड़ा पढ़ा तो स्क्वायर बन जाता है. 4 का पहाड़ा पढ़ा तो ट्रायंगल बन जाता है. आप करके देख लें. लेकिन 5 का पहाड़ा पढ़ें तो ये सब बनता है, right? It's like a star. Very interesting. 12 छेद हैं, 2 के पहाड़े में, 3 के पहाड़े में, 4 के पहाड़े में ये बनता है, लेकिन 5 के पहाड़े में ये बन जाता है. ऐसा क्यों? And then you start with 13 holes. These are 13 holes here. You see, in 13 holes, no matter किसका पहाड़ा पढ़ो आप, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, सब में यही बनेगा. So there is something special, and I'm going to give you this answer. I wanted you to spend some time, but that is because the reason you were making these nice polygons here, because 2 is a multiple of 12, 3 is a multiple of 12, 4 is a multiple of 12, whereas 5 is not, or the other way, whichever way, right? 12 is a multiple of 2, 3 and 4, but not 5, and hence you get a star. However, 13 is a number जिसका कोई multiple, मतलब, no number is a multiple, it's a prime number. So this is the definition of a prime number. Now, I didn't tell you the definition. All I did was I played a game with you, or I did some activity where you did some art, and then you decided what the prime number is. You told me that this is the definition of a prime number. You will tell me that if I do 5 with 12 or 7 with 12, आपको ना यही star मिलेगा, है ना? So that is how we will do. I mean, and many things can come out of that. So that is the goal of what we try to do, and I'll just leave you with this last question. Absolutely last, and we'll stop after that. This is a paper that I have in my hand. It's called the A4 paper. This is the thing about observing and interesting and wonder and all of that I was talking about. Classic example, right? A4 paper. सबने सुना हुआ है, पर इसमें 4 क्या है यार? 4 क्यों है ये? Why is it called A4? Why not A some other number? There must be something 4 about it, ना? हमने सोचा, हमको किसी ने बता दिया, हमने कभी सोचा नहीं, हमने पूछा नहीं. भाई 4 क्या है यार? तो बोलेगा सर 4 कोने हैं. ओहो, वेरी गुड. अब क्या है? अब भी तो 4 कोने हैं. अब क्या है? तो ये तो गड़बड़ होगी. But it turns out this is A5, right? You fold it in half, it is A5, and then you fold it in one more, is A6, and so on and so forth. This paper is actually very interesting. The interesting part about this paper is if you fold in half, the ratio of length to breadth is same as this. So no matter how many times you fold, its ratio remains the same, guaranteed. and it starts from A0, which is 1 square meter, and उसका रेशियो एंड A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A43 तक चले गए तो चांद तक पहुंच जाएंगे, इस कागज की इतनी मोटाई हो जाएगी. Right, so you start from A0, which is 1 square meter. So by the time you end on A4 5 folding times, you have 1/16 of a square meter. Right, 1/16 matlab 1 by 16 of a square meter, which is exactly 625 centimeters square, which is 25 times 25, which means इस कागज को आप एक स्क्वायर में बदल सकते हैं. This is a rectangle now, and this is true for the challenge for everybody who's watching or not. I mean, of course you have to watch, but आप इस स्क्वायर को, आई मीन इस रेक्टेंगल को ऐसे स्क्वायर में बदल दो जिसकी साइड इधर भी 25 हो और इधर भी 25 हो, विदाउट ऑफ कोर्स विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी पेपर. तो ये करके दिखाइए. दैट इज द चैलेंज. द एरिया ऑफ दिस A4 sheet is exactly equal to area of a square of side 25. So please convert into that. Please convert this rectangle into a square of with same area without wasting any paper. I read about this. I mean, I didn't solve it myself. I read about it and I was like, just यार इतना मजेदार चीज धोखा हो गया हमारे साथ, हमारी पढ़ाई में धोखा हो गया. That is my feeling, which is why we started doing this lab 7 years ago, and I started doing this almost 12-13 years ago. So thank you so much for listening. I'll just take you this slide of our contact. Looking forward to hearing from you, and looking forward to हमारी slide of contact वाली missing है. So maybe I'll not be able to show you that.
Can Professor Jain, can we take some questions now?
Absolutely. By the time I try to get that slide which has our address, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Any question? Anybody?
I got some questions.
Yeah,
so I'll
Professor
just
Mishra. Yes.
And the first question is, how much of time you spent in preparing for the classes?
Very good question, sir.
Okay.
Acha, एक second. By the time maybe somebody can help. हाँ, मिल गया. So my slide is ready with the. Let me just copy. Just one sec, Professor Mishra. 1 मिनट रुक जाइए बस, और मैं इसको यहाँ पर बंद कर देता हूँ और यहाँ पर अपनी स्लाइड पेस्ट कर देता हूँ. Control V. Paste. I don't know. अरे कोई है? जरा एक सेकंड खोलना. नहीं वो ईमेल. आई एम सॉरी, आई एम रियली सॉरी. पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. लेट मी ओपन रिसेंट. आई एम एकलव्य प्रोग्राम. जस्ट वन सेक प्रोफेसर मिश्रा, 1 मिनट के अंदर मैं कर देता हूँ. ये रहा. तो इसी को दिखा देते हैं ना पीपीटी में. होपफुली. व्हाई कैन आई नॉट
चेंज करना?
आई नो. ये कॉपी पेस्ट से क्यों नहीं होता है? कॉपी यहाँ से हो जाएगा. macOS properties. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Coming back to Professor Mishra's question, I think that is an important and sir, what I'll tell you. So first time when we started this program, 30-30 program, COVID में जब हुआ था, तो हमको पता नहीं था करना क्या है. आई वॉज वेरी स्केप्टिकल ऑफ ऑनलाइन. आई यूज टू थिंक यार ऑनलाइन में थोड़ी कुछ होता है ना. ऑफ कोर्स एज अ टीचर यू डोंट वांट ऑनलाइन. नहीं तो तुम्हारी नौकरी, तुम क्या करोगे? सब बच्चे ऑनलाइन पढ़ेंगे तो हमारी नौकरी कौन करेगा? तो बहुत डर लगता है हमको. प्रोफेसरों को ऑनलाइन से बहुत डर लगता है. very general and joking statement, but I used to think, and seriously I would say I want to interact, face to face. Whereas, I saw this channel called 3 Blue 1 Brown, YouTube channel. The guy makes amazing work, and when he would do live classes, 5,000 people will watch, and we said, chalo yaar, hum bhi COVID mein khali baithe, kya kare? We started this online. And our first session had 50,000 people watching live, 10 times more than 3 Blue. उसके पहले हमारे चैनल में कुछ 3,030 सब्सक्राइबर्स थे. 30-30 exactly. That's why we call our program 30-30. You can go watch it on YouTube. You can say 30-30 IITGM, तो आ जाएगा. उसके बाद 2.5 लाख हो गए. Zero marketing, right? But I'll tell you the kicker. We did two because somebody has we were looking for some sponsorship or whatever, and somebody had sponsored से हमने dash में आके लिख दिया कि हम तो यार 30 एपिसोड कर देंगे. 30 episodes we'll do. Sir, it took us 2 years, and I'll tell you, it's रीढ़ की हड्डी से खून का पसीना निकल जाता है. I don't know उसको हिंदी में अंग्रेजी में कैसे बोलेंगे, but it's a lot of work, but it's very enjoyable. 3 of us, me, Ashutosh, and in the later part of the series, initially our whole lab, 3-4 people, we probably spent the whole week much more, but you know, the whole week looking at interesting stuff. अगर मेरा सामान interesting नहीं है तो कोई देखता नहीं है कोई. And I'll show you this, right? This is again very interesting. Let me show you this. वापस से ये स्लाइड आ गई, बट मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ कि मैं क्या दिखाना चाह रहा था इसमें. ये वाली पिक्चर दिख रही है आपको?
We are seeing the campus.
Oh, you're still seeing the campus. Properties, IMB. हाँ, ये तो ओके हो जाना चाहिए. ये हमने इसमें कर दिया. अच्छा. Oh, I know. I think my mistake एकलव्य में ही करना है. हाँ, okay. You see something here?
Yeah.
Do you see this? I don't know how many of you have watched this film called Dhamal. I don't know, मैं उसका प्रचार नहीं कर रहा, बट बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल था प्रोफेसर मिश्रा आपका कि भाई इसमें मेहनत कितनी लगती है. मुझे लगता है यार, हमने जब 8 एपिसोड कर लिए तो हमें समझ, लोग ये कह रहे थे कि भाई हम इस सीरीज का इंतजार करते हैं जैसे सुबह सुबह रामायण का. एवरी संडे ऑन यूट्यूब 4 to 5 वी वुड डू दिस प्रोग्राम, राइट? एंड पीपल वर सेंडिंग अस कमेंट, दिस इज लाइक रामायण, हमारा पूरा परिवार देखता है, हम सुबह बैठ जाते हैं, 75 साल की माता जी, 6 साल के बच्चे, पूरा परिवार. सो वी आफ्टर द 8 एपिसोड वी स्टार्टेड टू वंडर, यार हुआ क्या, मतलब ऐसा क्या कर दिया, हमने तो कभी सोचा भी नहीं था ना. And we realized, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but we realized that something was going on, and this is the slide that we made to sort of capture that. We said, yeah, one of the most important things in whatever we do in our class has to be dhamal. Maja aaya ki nahi? Something non-intuitive, I tell you, whether it's a joke or a story, related or unrelated to the subject, maja aaya ki nahi dhamal. Second, कुछ बात समझ आई कि नहीं तारे जमीन पर, राइट? कि मैं आपको कुछ आज पैराबोला बताने वाला था, वो बताया कि नहीं बताया, मजा ही मजा होता रहा. एंड द थर्ड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कोई बात जो दिल को छू गई, 3 इडियट्स. नाउ हाउ मच ऑफ मजा, समझ एंड दिल, हाउ मच ऑफ धमाल एंड तारे एंड 3 इडियट्स यू डू इज योर कॉल, बिकॉज यू नो द ऑडियंस द बेस्ट. आई कैन नॉट टेल इट फॉर यू, राइट? इट कैन नॉट बी कि यार मजा ही मजा करते रहे, दिल को ही छुड़ा दिया, बस दिल ही छू गया, आगे कुछ नहीं हुआ. So how much of that you do is your call, and as a teacher you know it best, but it has to be these 3 ingredients. You have to engage, you have to inspire, and of course you have to teach. And that requires hard work. But the good thing is आपको भी बहुत मजा आता है, और एक बार आपने ये सारा कंटेंट अगर अच्छे से बना लिया या क्रिएट कर लिया, then you know you keep adding. But of course, long answer to this short question that it takes a lot of time.
Thank you very much, Manish ji. I mean, if I may just try to summarize what you said, you talk about perseverance and you gave examples of perseverance. You gave the flute examples, that when you give this demonstration, people are curious. So the attention span is not 45 seconds. You gave the example, they continually work for 8 hours, though some biological break and something, but so you challenge that. Then you talk about ability to observe around us. You gave very good insights into this. Starting from the sun rises in the east, the crow and the water example, very touchy and day-to-day activity that add also at a 90.5% that example. And we have never questioned, right? So you highlighted the importance of ability to observe around us. And also while you are sharing, you also talked about, am I creating value for others so that I can engage them, in that entire process. So you make these 2 important points, engaging and inspiring, right? And aankhon ke chamak, very touching point. One last question from my side. As academicians, we are told it is just not about knowledge dissemination, but also knowledge creation. I mean, that's what we are being told here at IIM Bangalore. Also, maybe applied to IITs. So research is also coming as a important factor for most of the academicians. So I mean, it's little. I mean, one you work, and other is you engage with people, create content, and these contradictions are there in most of the academicians, and we are struggling with that. Do you want to share some thoughts around
No,
this?
I think there is no contradiction here.
Okay.
I think the most important thing that we've done in this lab is about 45 to 50 people work in our lab now, and we are funded in the sense that we do things so that we can sustain ourselves, right? And we don't have to sort of rely on anybody's funding. We sort of are sustained. and all the 700 things that we've done, the toys that we have created, the activities that we have curated, and the stories we have collected is all the athak खून की हड्डी, रीढ़ का पसीना, all of that, of all of these people. We started, we were 4, now we are 45, and over the last 7 years, and like they said, the shoulders of giants and this and that, but you know, we work together. हम तो एक चीज़ बताते हैं, लेकिन उसको जो आगे चीज़ें हो जाती हैं वो इसलिए क्योंकि लोग साथ में मिलकर काम करते हैं. You know, all the my colleagues that work here, right? I mean, it's just, you know, we are not just creating. So many things have come out because we are doing these workshops with our teachers. तो हम उनको एक चीज़ बताते हैं, वो 4 चीज़ और बता देते हैं. I mean, often, मतलब बहुत बार नहीं होता है, बट बहुत बार होता भी है, राइट? वो कुछ बोलते हैं यार ऐसे कर दो. क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल, हमने एक खिलौना बनाया था, ये पेन है हमारा, एंड यू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन, सो I'm going to show you this right now. But ये पेन हवा में लटक जाता है. Earlier we used to make this pen with 6 magnets, right? 3 here and 3 in the front, because that's how classically you make. By the way, this pen levitates in the air. That's why it's interesting. ये हवा में लटक रहा है, हवा में घूम रहा है. Yes. It is actually standing in the air. It is only you know, touching this thing on one side, on the other side it's actually levitating in the air. यहाँ पर सिर्फ टच कर रहा है, इधर हवा में. तो पहले 6 से बनाया था. जब हम वर्कशॉप टीचर्स के साथ करा रहे थे तो एक के पास चुंबकें कम थी, उनने कुछ तो कर दिया. He didn't know what he was doing, but वो 3 से चिपक गया. ये तो बढ़िया है भाई, आधी कॉस्ट में काम हो गया हमारा, 6 की जगह 3 चुंबक. From then on, that is what we are doing. So you know, that is how it works, and you know, I'm very happy. By the way, it reminds me, I think it was just an amazing summary you did, and maybe that's what I didn't learn, and that's why I'm missing, and maybe I should have gone to अगर मैं लखनऊ पढ़ने जाता तो शायद मुझे ये स्किल आ जाती है. आपने बहुत ज़बरदस्त समरी कर दी. ये सब हम लोग को, मतलब मुझे तो अभी भी नहीं आया बहुत अच्छा, but thank you so much for summarizing.
We are learning. Thank you very much, Manishji, for your time and your inspiration. It is actually inspiring to see, yes, we can bring a lot of things to our students. They are really good. Maybe we as teachers need to engage with them. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I just take this slide and show you that this is our email, ccl@iitgn.ac.in. This is our website. Please do, whenever you have a chance, do engage with us, write to us, and we'll be happy to, you know, work with you, collaborate with you. We are open 365 days. Come visit. And thank you so much for inviting me.
I also extend our invitation. Whenever you are coming to Bangalore, please do come and visit.
Actually, I was there just last week at ICTS. My class, I mean, Rajesh Kopakumar had invited me, and we did. I didn't know about this, so yeah. I mean, I knew about this, and then I just came for 2 days and then came back. आपके यहाँ तो एक तो ट्रैफिक इतना ज़्यादा है यार, कहाँ से कहाँ जाएगा कोई. तो let's use
No, I think Ahmedabad is also following us.
अहमदाबाद में बिल्कुल भी जो है ट्रैफिक नहीं है.
नहीं, बहुत हो गया सर. It's also following Bangalore.
अच्छा. चलिए.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any question from the audience? Anybody? Anything? No. Okay. Professor Mishra, the award for asking more number of questions goes to you.
No, I love the presentation today. Thank you.
No, I just would like to just say a few things again. Professor Jain, you talked about staying on something for long. Well, we were actually able to stay hooked to your talk for an hour, which is way more than the usual attention span. So thank you so much for such an engaging and interesting talk. The difference that you're trying to make, we are sure, will be seen when these young learners will go for, you know, higher educations, when they will come to institutes like ours, and also, you know, when they will go for other levels of education. It would be great, as Professor Mishra said, if at some point our center and your center at IIT Gandhinagar, you know, can collaborate to contribute more towards the, you know, larger educational ecosystem. So thank you. Looking forward to those days, to really living those days. Thank you so much once again for accepting our invitation. Professor Mishra, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are having a very, very tight schedule, but your presence always encourages the team CTL. So thank you once again. Audience, thank you very much for spending your extremely precious time with us. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. We can now close and get started with other evening activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.